3, 2, 1.
Glowing Up Latina, Season 1, Episode 13.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Glowing Up Latina.
Hello, hey.
I'm Christina.
I'm Amanda.
And I'm Liana.
I almost knocked over my drink. I'm out here holding on with both hands today. This time we're recording. But we're halfway through the season.
Yeah.
Just so
We
y'all
are
know.
halfway through our season.
It's really exciting.
This will be a seasonal experience for you guys. Amanda has her wedding coming up. We have a lot of stuff going on during the summer. So we decided to,
Yeah.
get these episodes recorded, take a break for the wedding so everybody can enjoy themselves. Amanda can enjoy her honeymoon. How long are you going to be gone for on your honeymoon?
2 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so excited for that. It's going to be 2 weeks. I'm starting to look at places in Greece, in the areas that we're going to be staying at.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm correct, I think one of them is Mykonos and the other one is Santorini.
Okay, so you are traveling around Greece. You aren't staying in the same place.
No, we're not staying, in the same place. We're spending a couple of days in each island. And there is a Instagram page that I just recently followed. And they give you all these cool places for you to visit in Greece, especially in the places that I'm living. I'm visiting and where we're going to be spending our honeymoon. So so I'm looking at that page to see all the cool places where we can visit and spend the day while we're there for our honeymoon. So yeah, excited.
Oh my god, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
Where did you go on your honeymoon?
We went to Mexico.
That's right. You
We went
did
to Mexico.
Mexico.
It was a beautiful experience. Because the hotel we stayed at was all the adult only ones.
Mhm.
So I was like, I'm not dealing with children.
That's what we're gonna do for
Yeah.
DR.
Oh, yeah. It's adult only.
Adults only.
Yeah.
No offense to kids. Just
No, on vacation I don't want
Yeah,
them near
like,
me.
I want to dress a certain way and not.
That's really close. It's we just have to get to the month of June, and
Yeah.
oh my gosh. did
I
not realize
think
how
after
close.
this week, it's 6 weeks away.
No,
said that
next
last
week. Yeah, next week is the last week we're in the last week of May this week, this coming week. It's Memorial Day weekend this week.
Yeah, 6.
Oh, it's 6 weeks away?
It is
I feel like we've been saying it's 6 weeks away since April.
It's 6 weeks away. I'm starting to buy cute outfits for DR. So yeah.
I do
And-
need to get my clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have some clothes, but I need to get
I need the matching stuff.
yeah.
Yes. And then tomorrow I go and try on my dress because it's here. So yes, excited and nervous at the same time. But we'll see. And it's a one day at a time process with me feeling comfortable, how I look in the dress, and right now, and then what I kind of want to look by the time the wedding gets here.
And you get 3 alterations, you said?
It's 3 alterations, yeah.
Okay.
So it's crunch time, and my ankle has not been cooperative. I sprained it a couple weeks back, and man, I don't know. Now it's catching up with me. So
That's
I don't
what
know.
happens when you get old, guys.
I really was gonna say I was on the train this week, and I was like, this stupid ankle. I didn't have this problem 10 years ago. It would just heal in 2 days, and I'm fine, ready to go. And here I am, limping away. Not fun.
Have a whole brace on for it.
Yes, I have a whole brace on, which is not comfortable either because it's so tight.
Oh, it is? It's like a compression thing?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, so on today's episode, we're actually going to be rounding out our mental health awareness series episodes for the month of May. We will be talking about positive self-talk, the way that we speak to ourselves. And honestly, for me, guys, I think it took me a very long time to get to a point where I speak nicely to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Have you always spoken nicely to yourselves?
Not until recently. Before it was more like, Amanda, why would you do that? Or Amanda, you should have done this. I guess going back to like those intrusive thoughts that we discussed last week.
Mhm.
So it was very much of like I was questioning like everything that I was doing, and it was kind of like leading to negative thoughts about myself. So now it's more okay, let it go, just let it go and keep moving forward. And because then I really, then it becomes like a setback in my, in my mental growth while I'm glowing, glowing up. I thought about it this week. So I was told this week that when someone, I'm not going to say who it was, first met me, that they thought I was like kind of mean and not friendly. And I was like, do I still have this problem? And then I remember like you two, Liana was like, oh, when I first met Amanda, she was thought she was mean, but no, she's great. And then like when we first met Christina, you were like, no, I never got that vibe. So like that was like 4 years ago, I want to say. And then like this came up again. And I was thinking like, okay, do I still have this problem? Like, is there something that I'm still doing? I'm not changing to like, to not be mean. But I'm not trying to be mean. I can be very guarded. I've gone through like experiences where like I can be, I'm oversharing, and then it just like it backfires, and find out that people aren't genuine in their actions or their intentions, with being friendly with me. So I think that's where that stems from. So again, I'm not trying to be mean. So I told myself this week, Amanda, you're not mean. Amanda, you are friendly. You are caring. You are X, Y, and Z. You can't. So it took me a while, but I got over it. And now I'm talking about it, and I'm not saying like I don't have the same feelings I had when it first happened. So now I know like I'm okay about it now. Like I got over it. But I was like, damn. Years later, and we're still, Amanda, you still have RBF, and you're telling people fuck off across your whole forehead. That's not what it is, you guys. I promise.
I don't know. You guys know my mental health took a really big hit this month, and I just was like, it's so freaking ironic that we're doing mental health, like a mental health series, and mine literally like it took a nosedive. So I wasn't talking very nicely to myself this past month, but in my negative self talk, sometimes it'll be like, why did you do that? Like, what were you thinking? I think we all have those moments, but my negative self talk is a lot of like, oh God, I like hate to admit it because I feel like I changed what I was saying to myself when I started thinking like, would you say this to your brothers? Like, would you say this to your best friends? Like, would you speak to people that you care about this way? And when I started looking at it through that lens, I was like, holy shit, you're like kind of mean to yourself. Like, because you wouldn't talk this way to other people. So why would you talk this way to yourself? And obviously, when I'm having a depressive episode, those things come up. But what I have been encouraged to do is to acknowledge the thought and then counter it with reasons why that's not true. Like, because for me, you guys, I'm like very much like I need to see it. I'm a concrete like facts
you
person.
Need to like have a tangible thing.
And so I counter it with things that like I know for a fact are true, or that like I've seen myself. Like I feel like it's very easy to be like, no, like people love you. That's too abstract for me. I'm like, no, this person loves you. This person like wants to see you do well. I struggle with this a lot during like that 2-year break that I had in between college and law school, because another episode that we'll do at another time, I felt like I didn't have a purpose. Like, I felt very lost, and it was scary to think. I was like, God, was I really put on this earth and like I have no purpose? Like I have no and it wasn't that. I, as like, because I exist as a person, have value. And it took me a long time to learn that. But like now that I've learned it, I feel like it changed everything for me. I talk so much better to myself now. But it's still hard. And I think I think everybody has those days where
Everybody has those
Yeah.
days.
it's it's
Hannah
Hannah
Montana.
oh my god, I can literally hear it in my head.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Everybody
Everybody has those
days.
days. Everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Were you not a Hannah Montana person, Amanda?
Amanda.
I'm very much a Lizzie McGuire. That's So Raven.
Those are good shows.
Those are my
Those
shows.
are also good
Those are good
shows.
shows.
The
But
Hannah
I think
Montana was-
once Hannah Montana came on TV, or like Wizards of Waverly.
You didn't like that show
you
either?
didn't watch that one either.
I didn't watch that.
What about
However,
Sweet Life of Zack and Cody?
Here and there, but I wasn't into them. They weren't I wasn't vibing with those shows.
What about you, Liana? Like, what is your negative self-talk look like?
I think for me, I'm like very self-critical. Like I'm my worst critic, like at all times.
Mhm.
And a lot of it stems from like, because you guys know, like I struggle with low self-esteem and all that stuff. So I try very hard to like overcome those things in
Mhm.
like different ways. Like I always like to put on makeup, even though I'm trying to learn not to, like I don't need makeup to feel beautiful or
Yeah.
anything like that. So, and there are times where I'm like looking at myself in the mirror and I'm putting on makeup and I'm just like, this doesn't change anything.
Mhm.
It just makes you look a little bit more presentable as a human being. So it's very hard sometimes, but before this episode, I never really thought about talking positively to myself. Like I never really thought of it as being a thing. And like, but I definitely like have those moments where, oh, you did a stupid thing, or like, why would you even ever think of saying something like that? Or why would you ever even think of like doing this? Like, what makes you so special, or kind of thing, like all that kind of stuff. So definitely struggle with that. That's what my negative talk looks like. But I'm trying to be better at it. Like today, I'm not wearing makeup. I don't feel great, but
Yeah, that's for other reasons. It's because we're ridiculous.
Oh, Hot Girl Summer was a preview last night for sure.
No.
No?
No. That will not be continuing on for the summer.
Sorry, it's on the table.
I mean,
You can say that with full confidence. That
I'm-
will not be a preview. If that's a preview of the summer, I don't want it.
You're lying.
Do not.
what a time.
Look, guys, I know this podcast, maybe sometimes we seem like we have it together, but we really do not.
Yeah, we're
They're just
listen,
days.
I've said it before. Adulthood is a lie. We are literally just
Ghetto.
we are coasting through, figuring it out as we go.
I'm a child with no supervision. So I think sometimes we don't realize it seems so harmless
Mhm.
to talk to yourself
Mhm.
like in a negative manner, because again, like, who's gonna keep you in check better than yourself?
Mhm.
But I think all of the little comments, they add up, because then you like, yeah, it starts out so small, but as it snowballs, it becomes like this big thing. And then for me, like, I realized I was talking to myself like that all the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, what are you doing? Like, this is how you want to live your life. This is so sad. And it was actually my very lovely therapist. I really wish that she worked with my insurance, because finding a new one has been a process.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm still looking for one too.
But she was the one who like gave me the whole like different lens to look at it. Or she said it one time where she was like, she said, would you feel comfortable saying what you're saying to yourself to your mom? And I was like, no, like
Mhm.
I wouldn't
Not at all.
like, I wouldn't feel the way that I used to talk to myself. I would not have felt comfortable repeating that in front of anybody,
Mhm.
like, because that in and of itself was embarrassing to me. And she was like, if you like don't feel comfortable saying it in front of somebody that you're extremely close to, then you should not be saying it to yourself.
Right.
She was like, she told me, she was like, it's not going to change overnight. And it didn't. It took a minute. So do you guys think that the way that you talk to yourself, like, do y'all think it's had an impact on your relationships, whether like romantic, friend, familial?
Yeah, because if I talk love and positivity to myself and give myself that positive energy, then I'm able to shed light and give that positivity onto like my my relationship with Constantine, with you guys, my friends, family. Like if I don't come from that place of like loving myself, giving myself like positive self-talk, then how can I be in a good place with anyone else? Like I really feel that I would be bad company,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody wants bad company. At least like I know that's how I am. Like it puts a damper on things, and it's just like
Because if you have a bad energy, like with yourself, the person that like you should love and respect the most out of everybody,
right,
then it's not going to be good for like the relationships around you.
right,
Like, think about all the things that people have said to you that like have hurt your feelings, or that like you would consider bullying. It's basically like bullying yourself,
Yeah.
right,
is how I kind of see it. And I think once I was able to reframe what the negative self-talk is, like it helped a lot. Once I realized like, hey, like you're basically like bullying yourself. You're treating a person that you care about really poorly. It helped to like go forward. But
right.
anyways, what about you, Liana? Do you think that it's like affected
Yeah,
your
definitely. I
relationships?
feel like for me, I seek a lot of validation from other people. Like I'm always looking for that kind of like, hey, like accept me, or like say
Mm-hmm.
that I'm funny, or like say that, like I look pretty. Like sometimes I'll go to Norin and be like, hey, like you didn't tell me I looked pretty today. Like, do I look pretty today? And he'd be like, yeah, you always look pretty. And I'm just like, okay, but why do I have to ask you to tell
I
me
need you
that?
to just tell me. Just tell me.
But I'm always looking for like that validation. And I think when I'm talking to myself nicer, when I'm being nice to me to myself, wow, to myself, I don't need to look for that kind of validation. I kind of like, no, I am pretty. I am a pretty woman, like I don't need my husband to tell me that, though it would be nice. Just kidding. I
Nor
love
listens.
you.
Lauren's listening like that.
Love you. But yeah, that's where it comes from with me. Like that's how I feel like it affects like all of my relationships, because I always like wherever I am, or like whoever I'm with, I'm always kind of like looking for that. So yeah, but it's getting better. I'm getting to the point where I'm just like, I don't need them or anyone to tell me this and this and that. Like I should be able to tell that to myself and believe it,
Right.
and just kind of like, sorry, I didn't mean to sound too, but
I think that's where I came from too. Like this week, the validation, like the whole like being friendly thing. I was just like, dang, like all this, like this entire time, I thought like I'm making some progress or improvement there in how I am with my first impressions, and so
Like you thought there was growth
there was
there,
growth there. So there was this
and then
came up, and I was
somebody
just like,
came up to you and was
I
like,
think it was. I think there is.
and also with that, with how that portrays in our relationships, right? If like if I'm having an off day and I'm having intrusive thoughts, and I'm not speaking positivity to myself, like I sometimes, yeah, like I do find myself being short with the ones I like, with people who I see every day, whether that be Constantine, or I speak to every day, Constantine, and my mom, and they'll pick up on it. And it also happened this week, I think, with Constantine, and like I just had to I had to step away. I was like, I need to step away. I'm gonna go to the other room. Just give me like 5 minutes. I'm gonna come back. Like, and I told him that, and I came back. I go, I'm not being like, you're not the reason why I'm being snippy or I'm being short. It's me. I'm mad at myself right now. So just like give me
Thomas and I literally had a conversation like this yesterday.
because
Yeah.
it's not you, it is me. But let me, I'm taking accountability of what's going on, and I want you to understand like why I feel this way. Has nothing to do with you. And that wasn't something that I saw like growing up. It was more like if family or like my parents were in a bad mood, it was mostly like, okay, I'm gonna just do silent treatment for the rest of the day or for how long I can do it for until I finally crack and I need to talk to you. Like, that's not healthy.
Yeah.
So now I have to say it out loud, and then it reassures me like how I'm feeling and just change my attitude.
And that's definitely important, like to be able to have that step and be like, look, it's not you, it's me. I'm gonna step away for a second. And did you go to Esperanza's room? Is that
I
right?
did. Went to Esperanza's room.
The way you talk to yourself affects so many things.
Yeah. 100%.
It literally does. It like affects work life too, because like I kind of have like, I don't know, I have it, but I feel like everyone kind of has like imposter syndrome, where it's just like, how did I get here? Why am I here? I could be replaced in 2 seconds. Or like, am I actually doing my job right? Do I even actually know what I'm doing? And all that stuff. And like that's where it comes from me too. Like I'm just like, I'm doing this job out of sheer luck. We're going day by day.
Right. I do have those moments too, and I'd have to check in with my like supervisor and be like, hey, this happened this week, and is like what I'm doing, does that make sense? Like, am I on the right track here? And they'll be like, yeah, you're good. And again, it's just the validation that I need in that sense. But like, that is also like, I need to talk to myself positively, like at work too.
Like, yeah, like I do know
Yes,
what I'm
Amanda,
doing.
you know what you're doing.
Yeah,
yes,
like I know exactly what I'm doing and I do my job well.
Yes.
I don't have those days often.
I think I like am more kind of like where you are, where you're like, wow, I really just lucked into this. But like for both of us, it's just like, sorry, you lucked into getting your master's. Like you lucked into going to law school. Like you lucked into like having the same job for 5 years. Like
It's true.
I feel like once a week I tell Thomas like, oh, I'm gonna get fired, and he's like, why? He was like, there is no indication that these people haven't like that you're doing anything wrong.
How does Thomas know that?
That's what I'll be like. I'll be like, you don't work there. He's just like, you're being ridiculous. And I'm like, but am I? Or am I being sane?
There was a TikTok that I saw. This girl puts up a post right before at the end of her day. She writes like an affirmation, like that's work related. So when she gets into the office the next day, she reads it and she throws it. Yeah.
Aww.
And I'm like, that's such a great idea.
That's a nice way to end your day.
Yeah. I guess that's a great way to like also give, feed your mind positivity for work. Another tip was create a folder that says you're doing great.
I did that.
I have that.
I have it.
And then I put all the good things that like positive feedback, I put it in that folder. So that way, I know I'm doing something right. I know I am.
Yeah.
Mine is literally, you did a good job.
Yeah.
Mine is the nice folder.
So yeah. Oh. Positive self-talk goes a long way.
Yeah.
Okay, if you guys feel comfortable sharing, what is like the one thing that you like make sure to say to yourself or think like every day about yourself?
So mine would be like, you're here, live in the moment.
Yeah.
Mine is like, you are here on this planet. You need to live in the moment. Not everything that you plan for will happen, but you just need to take in what you're experiencing right there and then. Just enjoy it. And even if there are days when I say living in the moment and it's not a good moment, it's going to, I guess for me, like I have to tell myself, it'll get better.
Like it'll pass.
It'll
it's a
pass.
moment.
This too shall pass. So, that's mine.
I think mine is just like, even on my best days, even on a perfect, everything is rainbows and sunshine day, I tell myself every day, like, you have value. Because there was a point in my life where I did not think I had any value, and those were very, very dark times. So I make sure, even on my best days, like, like I tell myself, you have value, you are a valuable person, like, because you exist, you have value. And like in our when we talked about self-love in our last episode, like learning, and not just learning, but like believing that I have value,
Right.
Yeah.
it really kickstarted like my self-love journey, like because once I was able to recognize, and that's the thing, I think sometimes people are like, well, yeah, just talk nicely to yourself and like everything will be fine, but like you also have to believe what you're saying. And because
Right.
like once I started believing that I had value, like I, it feels a little dramatic to say, but like I feel like everything changed for me. And I like, that's when I started law school. And law school, it really put that to the test, whether I believed it or not, especially my first semester.
But that's always the
But,
hardest semester.
yeah.
The first year is the hardest year.
I think for me, I tell myself every day that I'm proud of myself. Like, oh, I'm proud of you. Good job. Like, you made it through the day. You made it through work. You made it through life. You have another, you completed a full day, and hopefully you'll have tomorrow to live through.
Right.
Because I think, again, going back to like my whole issue of like validation and everything from other people, like telling myself that I'm proud of myself tells me that I don't need other people to tell me that they're proud of me. I just need to be proud of myself, regardless of who else is behind me in my corner or whatever.
So to round us out, we're going to give you some tips from an NPR article that, will help you hopefully stop with the negative self-talk. The psychologist in the article is Dr. Joy Harden Bradford. She is the host and the founder of Therapy for Black Girls.
Ooh.
And one of her first suggestions is to talk to yourself the way that you would talk to a friend.
Yes.
Which I think
we said it before. Yeah.
We did. You talk to yourself the way you would talk to somebody you care about.
Yeah.
Because we care about ourselves. We love ourselves.
Right.
Covered that in the last episode. She mentions that like a lot of our negative self-talk comes from messages we heard out in the world and then internalize. So it doesn't necessarily mean like a parent. It could be like, Liana, you mentioned before that like you had bullies, like those things, you keep them even if you want to let them go, like your body remembers them.
Oh yeah.
So try to practice compassion with yourself. The next one is monitor and collect evidence. You're gonna collect those receipts.
Yeah, like having like the little nice folder, like keeping notes that people write to you and all that stuff. I think that brings you back.
Yeah.
It's like that validation that you weren't asking for, but you got it anyway.
Right.
So if you're thinking I never accomplish anything, then you ask yourself like, what evidence do I have to support that?
Right.
And I think I've mentioned it on here before, and I know you talked about it a little bit earlier, Liana, where it feels like luck sometimes, or like just random that we were able to get to the positions that we're in, but it's not. It was a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
So I can never tell myself I never accomplish anything, because I've accomplished a lot. And if anything, honestly, I accomplished getting through the freaking day.
Yeah.
Like sometimes that's hard.
Yep.
The next tip that she gives is to find affirmations that fit. And we talked about this a little bit last episode, where we're working on having like our daily affirmations. Have you gone to the mirror yet? This out loud?
Not this week. Again, I'm looking at myself and I'm saying it in my head. I have not said it out loud. That is still something I'm working on. But again, maybe I'll try this week. Tomorrow's Monday, so maybe I'm gonna need it.
I think sometimes for me with affirmations is they can feel so
false.
Yes. Yeah. That's perfect.
I was gonna say cliche.
That too.
That's another one, yeah.
But like empty, I guess.
Yeah. It's like that same thing of like false positivity or fake positivity or whatever.
Like toxic positivity.
What was it?
Like toxic positivity?
Yes. Like you're saying these nice things, but like what do they actually mean, the thing that you're saying?
Right. Do you mean what you're saying?
And I think when I learned to, because I used to like just Google affirmations, and some of them, I think there was one time that we shared with each other, like when we were going back and forth, like on quotes for our post.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of them was like, it had the word abundance in it, and it was just like, this is not how I speak, like, and so it feels weird to say something that's not in
You're just
your
saying
words.
vocabulary
Mhm.
to use.
And this article actually recommends like make it authentic to you, like say it the way that
you
you
want to hear it.
yeah,
Or you
and
would
how
say
you would actually say
it.
it. The
You
way
know?
that they're written is very like one size fits all. You
Yeah.
need to like add your own little thing to make it relate to like your life, and so that you feel it on the inside, so it doesn't feel empty.
Yeah.
The next one is to spend less time on social media, something that I think we've all been trying to work on. Apparently, studies show that people around the world spend 3 hours, and it's rising, a day on social media. And ever since Apple put that little like, do y'all get those weekly reports? And I'll look at my cell phone usage, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I
On
always feel really
Sundays,
proud when they're
it
like,
always
"Oh, you
comes
were
out on
down."
Sundays. Yeah.
yeah, I love when it tells me I was down this week. Well, like my percentage was lower, not that I was down. The social media one can be hard though, because so much of like our lives are on our phones,
Mhm.
and I feel like it's just like second nature. Like I think sometimes I'll go to like answer a text message and then immediately like go check Instagram afterwards, even if my intention was literally just to answer that text message.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everything is on your phone.
Yeah.
Literally everything. The way you connect with people nowadays, the way you receive your information, the way that you just live your life. So it's like, I don't want to say it's impossible, because I know there are, like, you can delete the app. You don't need to have Instagram on your app.
No.
On your phone. You don't need to
Right.
have Twitter or Facebook on your phone.
Right.
You know? But it's like, how else? How else could you connect with the people that you want to, like, you know, be connected with and stuff? you
Yeah.
know? Or feel inspired by?
Mm.
Because like, if you're off from social media, I feel like it's kind of hard to find inspiration or find like the motivation sometimes, because there's the very bad side of social media, and then there's also like the good side. So
Yeah, social media is a hard one.
yeah.
And the last one, the last little tip that Dr. Joy gives is don't think less of yourself, think of yourself less.
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not, she was basically saying it's not all you, honey.
Yeah.
The world does not revolve around you.
I like that.
And
Yes.
she says, she goes, obvious, this is a difficult one, but like a way to stop being so hard on yourself is to just stop thinking about yourself so
Right.
much. If you feel stuck obsessing over all your supposedly horrible failings, Dr. Joy suggests doing something with their hands that can take you out of that space. So like gardening, knitting, a coloring book.
Interesting.
Oh, doing your nails.
Yeah,
Okay.
doing
That's
stuff,
crazy.
doing mindless like tasks that you can do.
Crazy. Okay.
Or try to get outside and like observe the world around you is another way she suggests doing that. I didn't really think about that, but I feel like I spend a lot of time like thinking about myself.
Yeah, it's like what I said before. It's like you're like, you criticize yourself all the time.
Right.
Like, you're always like thinking of all the things that you feel like you said wrong, feel like you did wrong, things that you feel like you could have done better,
Yeah.
you know, all that kind of stuff. So I feel like it's that little voice in the back of your head that just won't shut
Nope.
up.
So I will link this article in the show notes for you guys. That way you can read it if you would like. I will also link to Therapy for Black Girls in the show notes as well. It's a very good podcast. And don't forget that last week we shared resources of a bunch of like great therapists that we follow on social media, and mental health resources. That post is still up and it will stay up
Yes.
for you guys. I'll add that to the show notes as well. Why not? But you guys, what is making y'all glow this week?
I am gonna say the dress. I'm gonna talk to myself positively tomorrow morning and let Amanda know that yes, we did put on some winter weight, but it's gonna be okay. We have time, and we're gonna look beautiful. We are beautiful. So I'm gonna tell her tomorrow morning, so that way she doesn't freak out. So yeah, I'm gonna save the wedding dress.
So
Yeah.
exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually took time off from work. So I'm on vacation from Thursday to the following Tuesday.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
nice.
nice.
So I
Short
need
week.
it.
Short week for you. I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah, it's good for you.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Oh.
We love it.
Gonna go on those long walks that I apparently don't take.
Okay.
Anyways, for North.
He really said I don't take walks. Like we walk our dog.
He's like, that's around the corner.
I think for me, I graduate this coming again. I graduate again this coming weeks. We're having an actual like ceremony this time. It was over Zoom last year, and they gave my class and the class before me the opportunity to walk if we wanted.
Hey.
One of my best friends is giving a little speech at graduation. We're all very excited for her.
Yeah.
And I'll be going home to Texas for a little bit. I'm also looking forward to that. I'm so excited to see my family and hang out with everybody.
Aww.
So, yeah. I have a short week too, actually. I work. Oh my gosh, I work till Wednesday and then I'm done until next
just me.
Tuesday.
So it's just me. Okay.
I completely forgot about that. I'm so excited.
Well, that's good for you guys. I'm happy for you guys.
She says through gritted teeth.
Look, you got
No,
2 weeks in Greece.
Yes, that's what it is. Like I'm just.
Oh
like,
yeah,
I'm building up my days. That's
We're gonna
the
be
only
stuck
reason
here.
why. That's it. Don't worry.
Okay, Leona. When can the people find us?
You guys can catch us here on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts every Wednesday. Leave us a glowing review because we love them. And we can put them in our nice folder.
Yes, we should do that. And don't forget to check out our Instagram page at Glowing Up Latina. Continue to like our posts, send us your DMs. And then, don't forget to send us also a topic of your interest. Or if you just want to send us a friendly email. And you can send that at glowinguplatina@gmail.com.
Until next week, keep glowing, mija.
Bye.